Hi there, it's Chris Hamilton here with Sales Tip a Day, www.salestipaday.com, and I am going over many of the features of a TwitAdder. And the one that I'm going over right now is the follow and unfollow users, and this is quite amazing. Literally, it becomes a set it and forget it process. So what you do is the first part is you go through and you find followers to go and follow, obviously based on certain parameters, which would be certain keywords that you may have, locations, how far you want them. You might want to do searches against profiles also in a certain location as well, which means you can get very pinpointed on people that you want to be following, especially around stuff they may like. And then you go through, and there's lots of different ways you can find people through followers, location searches, so on and so forth. But once you've created this list, you've got this great big huge list, and I've got 3,257 people sitting on a list. And what I've done is I've created a constant repeat where I've automated this. And how I do that is you go through the follow and unfollow section here. And what you can do is when you first start, if you really feel like doing it, you can send something out right away, or you can automate this process. And you do the maximum follows of 200 a day. These are the presets that came with the system. And I just kept them in. The reason being is that on my Sales Tip a Day account currently, as I'm recording this, I'm about 13,000 followers. But it's a healthy number to add each day. There's a time delay between follows, so it looks like you're actually doing this as a human being. And the other thing too that's interesting is stop following when the follower ratio equals 1.1 to 1 follows. Reason you want to do this, especially when you get a higher number, is you don't want a whole bunch of people adding a bunch of people all the time, because it gets out of line with the way that Twitter likes to keep things even between followers and following. In fact, when I first started out, I started adding a lot of people. I got up to 2,000 people. I only had about 200 following me, and Twitter shut my account down until I got rid of some of the people that weren't following me. So I learned to take that in a decent stride. But ideally, here's what you do. You just go and you set this up once you've got this list, and you hit the follow, and these are the people that you're going to be following that you found through the search here. And all you do is you just hit this automation button. It's either on or off. So when it's off, it's red. When you turn it on, it turns green. So now it's actually on. Same thing is people will follow you back, or people will follow you without you knowing that, and you can actually follow them back as well. Same sort of thing is, if you go out and you're following people, some people do the same to you. So what you want to do is you want to be able to follow those people back as well. This one's at the preset limit, so you can, it's at 50. I'd keep it about 50. Same thing, between 3 and 7 minutes is the time delay between these, and stop following at 1.2 to 1 ratio as well. The reason I have it once again up that high is because at that amount is because I actually have a high amount of Twitter followers, and at this ratio, that would mean I'd have 2,000 more than following me than I would not, or that I'm following that is not following me. So long story short, just keep these presets where they are. That's pretty good. If you want to send followbacks right away, if you already have a pre-existing account, you can do the same sort of thing. Click send here. Now, the other one, the last one, is the unfollow users, and this is also a great thing. You want to shed the people that don't follow you back, because at some point in time, you end up with way more people that you're following than people following you. And as I say, Twitter kind of looks at that and kind of it looks at it if you keep adding more and more people without enough people following you back. So you want to keep that ratio between kind of that 1.1 and 1.2. In fact, actually 1.1 is probably a healthy ratio on that one. And then what you do is same sort of thing. You can send unfollows out immediately, or you can automate the process. Once again, I've kept this at the presets that are sitting in there, but the whom unfollow are quite interesting. You can get unfollow all who follow. You don't want to do that, because that would just kind of eliminate everyone that you may have on your list, unless that's what you're trying to go for. The other one is unfollow any non-reciprocal follows, which means absolutely anybody. So if you had a big account beforehand and you brought it into Tweet Adder, anyone that may be on there, you can use this function to get rid of the people that you don't want in there. And then the last but not least is the unfollow non-reciprocal follows that were followed using Tweet Adder. And when I brought my account in, I actually cleaned it up and had it almost 1-for-1. And now all I do is I just keep it on unfollowed non-reciprocal follows that were followed using Tweet Adder. And this just cleans it out. Keep it at about 3 days. I usually used to use about 2 to 3 days as a rule of thumb of cleaning people out. Just give them enough time, to try to follow you back. After 3 days, if they're not following you back, it's going to be tough for them to follow you back. They're probably not on Twitter all that much, or they're not following people back. So you just you pull them out, get new people coming in on a regular basis. So anyways, this process right here, by doing this, saves me numerous amount of times during the week or during the month, more than offsets my hourly wages that I charge clients against the cost of the software. So I highly recommend, if you want to grow your Twitter following at a good steady click on a constant basis without having to manage that process, this set it and forget it or automated process is absolutely phenomenal in Tweet Adder, and I would highly recommend it. Hope you find that information useful.